Shalom, shalom to the house of Israel.
Shalom.
We are a couple brothers from the Great Millstone Camp here in Trinidad, coming to you with a bit of edification through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH'S. As we start, we give all honor, all glory, all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, prophets, and teachers of Great Millstone, our spiritual fathers who rule well. Peace and salutations to the saints here at Manakwa to follow this truth in all diligence and all sincerity. Now, the topic today is Israel was selected to be the Lord's elected. And this is what the world have a problem accepting, that the Lord chose one group of people. Because time and time again, we keep hearing that salvation is for everybody. Why would the Lord create other peoples and only accept one? But these people all claim to read the Bible, and yet for some reason being known to them only, they would read the same precepts we read, but they would gather something else. Right? So this is Sirach chapter 33, verses 10 to 13. It says, all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of the earth. In much knowledge, the Lord had divided them and made their way diverse. So you see, when you're talking about all men created from the ground and Adam created from the earth, you don't see that division there. It's not the same. You know, that's why the scripture tells us the elect was with the Most High from the beginning. Some of them had he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them had he cursed and brought low and turned out their places. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liketh him best. And everybody claim to profess, I love God, and I care what God say and what God say I go do. But when you read scriptures like that, they can't accept that the Lord has a chosen people. You know, they profess that love and acceptance, but when the truth of the scriptures come out, you realize how much they buck up against it.
Yeah, I'm going to bring a piece up here, right? This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 5. You had that?
Yeah, I didn't have that one.
You don't have that? Right.
That is what I was going to bring.
And well, since you're in 2nd Ezra 5, hold 2nd Ezra 6.
Down to the end.
Down to the end.
Those two
Yeah,
hours.
56, right? So this is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 5. Verse. Now before going to this, right? Now the brother mentioned that Israel being the chosen of the Lord, right? Because the Lord have a chosen people. Is the same way you might have 6 children, right? But one go just be that chosen, you're chosen, that is the one that you go put above the rest. Right? That's just basically what it is. Some people just want to deny it, but it have no denying it. Right? You just see it, you just already see it, you just hear about it, these stories and so forth. If you don't have children, you can basically ask any parent. Or you yourself might see that. It have kids who grew up in a household and they might have like 2 other siblings, but they know this particular one will get away with anything. He would do anything, but this is because he's the favorite one. Now, when it comes to Israel, it have plenty of people believe that those who live in any land right now, those are the true Israelites. So when you're here in Israel, you have to understand, you have to know who Israel is first. Because Israel is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives, and now you would have them who may look like the other nations, but their bloodline comes from Israel, right? So put that into your mind, put that into your spirit, that those people that actually living on the land, those are not the true Israelites, those are not the true Jews. Now they call themselves Jewish, and when you look at the word Ish, it means something like, you know, it means something like or not of, right? And that is basically what they're basically telling you what it is in calling themselves Jewish.
Okay.
You have seen this video with this guy Michael Rappaport, right? He's been doing a countless of videos since the situation happened last year, October the 7th, right? Or even before that. You know, he has been doing videos going on how they are the chosen and we are the chosen and everybody else thing. But he's an Edomite, right? He's an Edomite. That's to show you that they are not of that land. He went there for a short period of time and his whole skin started to get red. The pigmentation started to change. Even they that's being there, it don't even agree with them, right? The land don't even agree with them, right?
If I pass myself at the back.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie, behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
One of them wicked
Yeah, that's going to them wicked
Israelites,
Yeah.
you know. When I read Sirach 24 and start at verse 8, right? Yeah.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
Right.
I could always come up
To
there.
show the Lord choose honorable people,
Mhm.
but not all honorable.
Yeah.
Choose a particular people. Okay.
Now read it out.
Good, no?
Surah chapter 24 verse 8, right?
Yeah, read on to 12.
12, okay.
Right.
It says,
Yes,
so the
yes,
creator of all things
Right.
gave me
Mine's
a
is
commandment that he
I started
and
from
he that made me caused my tabernacle to rest and said, let thy dwelling be in
Let
Jacob.
thy dwelling be in who?
Jacob.
The whole world.
Jacob.
All nations.
Jacob.
In Jacob. Let thy dwelling be in Jacob. Good.
Dan, and thine inheritance in Israel.
Good.
He created me from the beginning before the world, and I shall never fail.
Yeah, you will never fail.
See that?
Good.
God, it says in the holy tabernacle, I served before him, and so was I established in Zion.
Yeah, so you see, he didn't come for all nations. He was established in Zion. He came
Yeah.
for them. He
Yeah.
came for the elect. That's why he say he pray for them. He pray not for the
For the
world.
world.
Right? So a lot of you Christians get confused when you all hear, for God so loved the world. Right? I'm not talking about all nations.
Yeah.
Right? The Lord say love Israel, the whole of Israel, he love Israel forever.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Continue.
Yeah.
It says, likewise, in the beloved city, he gave me rest, and in Jerusalem was my power.
Good.
And I took root in an honorable people, even in the portion of the Lord's inheritance.
Yeah, and who is the Lord's inheritance? Deuteronomy 32 verse 8. Right? For the Most High divided the nations.
And
Right? And he chose Israel as his portion.
Is the lot of his
Israel is the lot of his inheritance.
And our preceptor, I mean, the same in line with that, which is Surah 17 and 17, she wants to come as well. It says, for in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people, but Israel is the Lord's portion. Agree with what you're saying?
And if I can say also, to touch on that, that's the reason why originally Israel didn't have a king. But the Lord put a king over them. Why? Because they wanted to be like the others. But originally the Most High was their king. You understand?
Now you say, we not your oppressors and choose not their ways.
And if you notice, the Lord set up guidelines for the choosing of that king. The Father, when you read it in the law, that king had to come from among Israel.
Yeah.
No heathen or no foreigner, no person who is Nakari, according to the definition, could sit on the throne in Israel. And Nakari is somebody whose bloodline do not go back to the house of Israel. So they was not allowed to accumulate wealth, land, much less rule over Israel. Even though there was a period with Zerubbabel and around there with Nehemiah where persons infiltrated the priesthood whose seed line didn't go back. So when the records were kept, what was sought, realized, but wait, these men is not Israelites. And how were they able to pass under the radar? Usually when there's marriage, the woman would take the man's name. But these men took the name of the woman's father, who they married. And as a result, they were able to slip under the radar. And some of them was even priests. You know, this is why, you know, the Lord was telling Israel, hey, remove them people from among all here.
Doesn't Ezra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Even the guidelines for a king, when the king go off, what's going to happen to the nation?
The whole nations go off.
So that was a heavy judgment for them as well too.
And even the king had a bloodline too, because
Yeah, had to have
Judah had to be one from Judah, and then when it split, we had one from Ephraim.
And
That was the lineage.
remember the curses talk about the Lord putting curses on Israel. But in this time, the curses that he put on us, he says he's going to put on the heathen. But when you go to Deuteronomy 28, they talk about proverbs and bywords being placed on us, African American, and all these different terms. But look at the people who calling themselves the chosen people. They place their own proverbs and bywords on themselves by saying, who is the Jewish people? Or who is the Israeli? We know it's Israelites. They say Israeli. If we from Judah, we say Jews, they say Jewish. Yet they proclaim, you see, out of their own mouth. They're denouncing who they really are. But for those who are not literate in the scriptures, they They will be deceived. Hey, all right, these people are the chosen people because they say Jewish.
And Brother Connor did a video and just yappa pertaining to how they depending on his soul. Because there's always use the Bible for when they're making a big speech. But what the scripture say that the vengeance belongs to the Lord, YAHAWAH'S. And what them doing right now, I think they strike at Iran today. So you understand that who they trust in? They trust in the soul. They are the soul. You understand? So that's actually how you gonna be chosen people, but yet you reason the soul. And you is a laughter. I think they blow up a whole village, and it was a laughter with all the all the army men and them. There's a joke for them for you, so you know we take some souls and it's a laughter.
One thing I want to say too, you see the same video when the man claiming he's from the Jews.
Yeah, Michael Rappaport. Yeah.
Watch how easy he cut his own self. You say now how we anytime at war. What the scripture say when the all Israel gathered together? Because that's what he claiming to say, right? And they say there will no longer be any wars.
You see, these people are the belief.
They keep bringing it already.
These people,
Bring it out to me after. Bring it out to me after.
No, that's alright. It's a video to do later.
these people are the belief. If you say something 1,000 times, eventually it will be true.
Yeah.
Say it 1,000 times and you go start to believe it. Now, if they were the true people, what is the need of passing laws to curb anyone speaking against them? We know we had a big Jewish official saying he want international law to reflect their position by taking persons' houses, the income, making them homeless for speaking against the Jewish people.
Most are to saying this. You see, when they're saying these things, it's because they know the. You see, Esau, and there's something we always say. Esau know the importance of being a. Esau know the importance of being an Israelite.
Right.
Esau know the importance of calling himself a Jew. That's the reason why one of the reasons why they come to take over that whole heritage. You understand? One of the reasons why they want to call themselves that because they want to be that chosen. It's basically Esau. What it is cult of vultures, right?
Yeah.
It's a reason why they call them cult of vultures because they want to take everybody's culture. The main culture they want for themselves is being what? Being Israel.
But only the positive aspects of it.
Yeah, only the positive aspects. Paul is a Hebrew Edomite. Right? So it's a Hebrew Israelite. It's a Hebrew Edomite. You understand?
Promise.
Yeah, promises. He said even though he sought to do it with tears, you know?
But the thing about it, they always want only the benefits of
Yeah.
it. But that's not how you see an unjust balance, abomination with the Lord. They always want all the good aspects of it without dealing with anything negative. They want the promise. They want no curses.
Yeah.
They want no poverty. You understand? They want none of them things. But the one that just a wicked man we are thinking.
And even if we check it when when he was dealing with Abraham also pertaining to the strange woman, even he part of the vision one time, he say, hey, I'm listening to thy wife Sarah from I'm sure Isaac thy seed shall be called. So this is how the Lord separating his chosen from the jump.
And even in Egypt he did that as well.
Yeah.
He make a clear distinction for you. You understand? And you see that you see that's the thing. But you see the importance of you see today if you tell a Jake he's an Israelite, he don't want to hear that. He rather be called some
Gentile,
some byword, you know, as I say, they will be called by the bywords, you understand? So yeah, so that is what they rather be a byword. They don't understand the importance of being a Israelite, or how chosen he is.
Precepts,
You understand? They have a concept meaning that they know the talented, the gifted, or like how they could do this and I could do that, but to go further beyond that, they don't have that understanding, you know. Like say, you know, it's people are foolish.
I know some way say that really makes sense because Jake don't think that they deserve glory.
No.
That is where they actually hit. That is why the Gentile concepts so easy for them to attack. Because alright, we is not the people, but we could still have a chance in the, you know, that kind of way.
To be a slave.
Right. Like they still get a slip through the cracks because there's an exception, but them is not the main. They don't look at themselves like them is the main prize.
It come like these you ever watch these cartoons and shows, animes, like when the villain and making himself be like the king, but the real king was a servant, and then he so such being a servant all his life. It's like when he hear that he's the chosen, like you mad, that man up there is the man that thing. That is basically what Jake is, you know. Until that day that glory come, until the Lord come, that is when they will get it, you know.
It's like can one, and we come like being the underdogs.
Yeah,
we being the underdogs.
Underdogs,
but we know the power of who we serve, and we know what the Lord have to bring in for us in ownership. So it's a fast one.
Even the hieroglyphics act like some of the hieroglyphics you see on the tombs in Egypt and so forth. When they were showing you the chariots, watch who it was dealing with.
Slaves. Slaves.
Son of the state.
God. I'll bring out this one here. This is the book of Amos chapter 3, as I was put up to Egypt. This is the book of Amos chapter 3, verse 1. It says, hear this word that the Lord YAHAWAH'S had spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, ye only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
A father wouldn't punish a random child, so that wouldn't make sense. You understand? He would punish his own. You understand? And that's basically it. But they say this, they tell you that is his choosing the people who he deal with. Now Jake just want to incorporate everybody into that. Even today we see in some Hebrew Israelite camps that want to bring in Esau, say Esau can find salvation, you know, and so forth and so on, because again they just love that white man. You know, no matter what it is, they love that white man. You understand? They will die for him. You know? But
I remember in the past Elba was telling about what you were saying, I think it's Africa he went or somewhere. One of those regions, and he was saying he was talking to one of them, he was calling him brother. And he said, nah, he said, he's not one of us, he's a son of these slaves.
who did say that the brother from
Bruh.
yeah, like from
Bruh, he was telling me that.
I know it have a documentary, right? This was years ago. I tell you about years ago. This is when I know commented with you. And I can't even remember the documentary. I can't even remember the man who do it. But he went in Africa, right? And when he went questioning the people. And they were telling them, you was not one of you. You was not one of us.
That's a good while back, I think,
that wasn't, you was not one of us. You understand?
Yeah,
Even the belt over here, and the man was breaking it down, telling them like, this is why you're not one of us, you know. No, and that is it. You see that, like today, let me show you messed up Jake mind yesterday, right? If I go online and only watch this election, right? The election are going to happen in America. Jake's actually fighting amongst themselves, meaning that here what's going on. The Jakes from the Caribbean, the ones in America say them not black. They say there's something else, right? And no matter how much times people telling them, hey, there is a real stupid with the thing, because we are the same people, different tribes nonetheless, right? Different place we dwell in, but it just to show you how far gone Jake is, that they want to accept people that is not their own. But the people that who is their own, nah, well, it's not. You know, as I was saying, like this fella said, I can't remember his name, but he was like, the only difference that I have between the Jakes in America and the Jakes in the Caribbean is one boat stop. One boat stop. That's the only difference.
If I can add, when you look at Jake, as I was touching earlier, how you can tell that Jake is an Israelite, and nah boy, because I experienced that with my father telling me he's an Israelite. The man was angry, saying, no, I'm a Gentile. I don't know Israelite.
There are be called a Gentile than Israel.
So this is the mind state. Jake not in that, they don't have that kingdom mindset we are thinking. So lacking that kingdom mindset we are thinking, Jake don't want to aspire to be more than what he was created to be. He comfortable just existing on this plateau right here, and I had to work, because if I was the chosen people, that means I had to do this, I had to reformat my ways here, I had to give up all of that when I'm just comfortable on this plateau here, you know?
They don't
That's
want
how
to.
Jake is.
They don't want to manage a club. They just want to be a footballer.
Yeah.
That is Jake mentality.
Yeah. You know?
It's just to show you the slave mindset. I was a home-born slave.
Can't.
You understand? Who are the next person? You are on the Jake? Good.
Yeah, the second is after 6. After, yeah.
Nah, let me bring mine first.
I got Hebrews
Now
8.
you
After.
Isaiah chapter 41 and verse 8. He said, but thou Israel art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham my friend. Thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, thou art my servant, I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away.
I should say that it's the ends of the earth as well too, because Jake scattered all around there. That's an extra reason why too Esau Esau just want to. They know the scriptures, right? So they was like, all right, if we put Edomites in every single place in the world, we could say that we was equal. Not realizing that Jake really and truly was the one that used to go to the four corners and travel. Yeah, the natives and then come on this side here. Then you have then like even when you go and watch shows like the Vikings, what's the next one by Sort of B, right? It's Vikings and you have a next one, Sort of B. They must warriors too. Barbarians, right? Some of them was heathens, but they are Jake in them. Jake was all over. Like even when you watch some of the greatest armies in the world, Jake was in the midst. Some of them was generals because of the tactics and so forth. You know, so that's why like when they watch places like Belgium and Belarus and these places, it have a section of Jake there dwelling there for years since inception. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And these things, you know, people is fail to, you know.
That's like it's blood DMP lah.
Blood DMP lah. You know, and even it could even go from even before, go back, you know, we went all over. You understand? We went all over. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, just that quick, it was last night, I was just scrolling through it was TikTok and I had a Japanese looking guy, but actually talking to him, but again I didn't get to see it because all the data actually shaky now. But Jake saying, hey, well my father is African American, my mother is Japanese, but these Japanese know I is not that Japanese. Because the way how I does function and he said my attitude too, but the way how I function, I just different from them, how I just operate and everything, way different. So they know, and the same thing with a woman also, she's talking that because I think in the war mostly are these Jakes and them breed up all of these Japanese women when they were staying.
When they were staying across
the so there are all of the Jakes across it, but they know the difference between the Jake and the Japanese.
Yeah, remember even like when Jake used to even walk up to Asia and places, and like even like if you watch some of the Japanese, like the deities and so forth, some of them have curly hair and cornrows in the hair and so forth. Like even this was an article here. I did do a video on this, but this is from the Irish Times, which is a news article in Ireland, right? It said early Irish people were dark skinned with blue eyes. And the son and that is history report of years telling people that the Irish are Israelites. You understand? Because of the history, what they went through and so forth. Now, over the years, obviously the washout take place. You know, Jake had to sleep with the Edomites from them places and so forth. But majority, like plenty Irish people come from that particular bloodline.
Yeah, you see, you saw know that because the straight in this movie, I think it's green something. I can't remember it. So good when the Jake did hire the Edomite to, you know, transport him to drive him around because he used to play the piano.
Yeah.
Right, and when the Edomite police them hold them and thing and say what the man name is, and he think his name is Valalong. He say the next Edomite say it sound like Irish.
Yeah.
So when the police hold him now, he say you is Irish too, you half a nigger yourself.
Yeah. See? Well, he's always shot in the movies. Same thing like the Bloodshot. I was watching today that they're bringing out, we're going to the CF or the show, you know.
Yeah,
so same thing with the movie, same thing put it into when you were watching the movie The Mummy. When he say and he was when the movie,
he started thing with the chains,
and you say, oh, you know the gods are the
you know the language of the
slaves.
gods. Yeah.
And that pass over weird. That pass over weird like nothing. But when we come in, we understand. Hey, he saw he's a man. He proud. He like.
And see, remember the script also say that they go tell on the cell phone.
Yeah.
You understand? So that is what they will do.
Yeah. And for the remember the gangs in New York with Leonardo
DiCaprio, yeah, that is a revolution.
Yeah. Because if you look at the Irish people, when they suffered a lot of persecution and the curses we suffered over in our land. So we know according as the scripture said that curses placed on you as a sign. So we know a lot of so-called Irish men was Jake. This is why when I used to say Bob Marley was an Edomite based on the fact father was a white man, only to be corrected as the elders brought out and proved that father I think was one that was considered was Irish or something.
Yeah,
so,
it was Irish. Yeah.
and it's actually his father was a Jake. Even though he looked
He looked,
you know?
thing.
And you see his talent on
Yeah.
the trend, so
Yeah.
you could tell.
but
So we're going to the same. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5. I can read from verse. I'm going to read from verse 23. It said, and said, O Lord, that bearest rule, for every wood of the earth and of all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen thee only one only vine. So that everything you have a particular, how to pick fair. A favorite from each thing. You understand? From each thing you have a particular favorite. And that is something people are supposed to realize because it's one mistake called inclusion. You remember Esau don't want to include all or nothing. Because if Esau wanted to include anybody into the plans, they would have told all what they was going to do. But they're not. Because Esau is for themselves. You understand?
Like I say, having favorites is wrong.
Yes. Yeah. Oh.
Say a good parent don't have favorites. You know, there was this priest making the claims that God don't have favorites. And if he have favorites, that means he's not a good father. But it's clear based on what you're saying there. As parents, I'm a parent and I have a favorite.
Yeah,
I wouldn't let my other children know, but
yeah.
they could tell, hey, he's a daddy favorite.
Like
My
Joseph.
mommy favorite. Yeah.
Like Joseph.
You don't know.
Yeah.
It's not that the parents don't love the other children, but human nature, there would be one that you may gravitate and feel a special connection with. That is not evil.
And that is just basically it. So that everything that have one particular that he would love the most, right? And just how do I say there, it's like that's just basic. To really actually that's basic. People just like to deny it, but it's basic. You understand? You will always favor something. If you have a million animals in the world, you will never say you love every animal.
That's true.
Now you go say like, hey, I love dog more than anything else. You know? It just be like that. That's just saying. So the daddy Lord telling, and like how you see the priest, right? The priest mentioned that. I like to tell them, like when they say that, I like to say, so what did the Lord do with Egypt?
He's a priest of Baal.
You understand? Yeah. So what did the Lord do with Egypt? If everybody, then he would have to treat Egypt fair, right?
You're not killing any
Yeah, you would not do. You're not killing any food. You not even bring the. Okay, you would not bring the plagues.
Yeah.
You know, if that was one of your
Chosen,
favorites,
yeah.
if that was he chosen, you never do that. You know?
And in situations where Israel had somebody else on a subjection, why you never do them nothing wrong?
Yeah.
But when it is somebody that Israel on a subjection, they will get destroyed.
And even with that too, I can remember something when Israel had thing on subjection, the way we deal with them was more fair than how they would have deal with us.
And
People, you remember that today? Because you see today, watch how Jake does deal with people.
Yeah.
It way better than when they deal with that Edomite.
Yeah.
You understand? As Jake might still reason with you. Edomite is straight to the sword. You understand? We still had certain laws that we had to keep. No, it had times that they had us to, hey, I want to say, but these days YouTube, you had to cut it off. You understand? The Lord gave straight order that, hey, you had to cut off that. You have to. But we how we used to deal with certain things was a little more better than how any of these heathens. Watch how these heathens deal with we to watch how we deal with them. And you will see the difference.
Okay, we had the laws.
We had the laws. Yeah.
Peace.
Understand? And say it say verse 24, it say, and of all lands of the whole world thou hast chosen thee one pit, and of all the flowers thereof one lily. Right? It say, and of all the depths of the sea thou hast filled thee one river, and of all builded cities thou hast chosen Zion unto thyself. It say, and of all the fowls that are created thou hast named thee one dove, and of all the cattle that are made thou hast provided thee one sheep, and among all the multitudes of peoples thou hast gotten thee one people, and unto this people whom thou lovest thou gavest a law that is approved of all. Now give me the book of Psalms, where you talk about the same Psalms 147, where you say who you give the laws unto.
Yeah.
Somebody give it up for me.
19 and 20. It says, he showed his words unto Jacob.
So it's right there when you're reading that verse. It starts off telling you who it is he showed his words to.
Yeah.
It tells you Jacob. So then you have to understand who did what went on with Jacob become who? The 12 tribes. Right? And it's telling you one time. So one time when you read that, show his words unto Jacob, you're supposed to understand, well, hey, it didn't say Esau, it didn't say Elam, it didn't say Moab, it didn't say Ammon, you understand? It didn't say the Ashkenazis, it didn't say Amalek, it didn't say none of these people. Who it say? Jacob.
Jacob.
Clearly, and I see that people feel that this word goes unto us first. You understand?
Yeah.
It goes unto us first.
I forgot also say,
Go ahead.
see how he say he showed his word unto Jacob. He showed his word by what the prophets, and he showed it to Jacob. So that letting you know the prophets were Jake, and the ones receiving the word were also Jake. You understand? So
You
had no
didn't hear the
hidden
prophets. You didn't hear the prophets went on to when it was time to think. You didn't hear the prophets went on to the east to tell them. You understand?
Yeah.
Visions were shown and so forth and so on, but who majority all the time at fact who they went on to?
Even the gap vision, they couldn't break it down.
Yeah.
Because Jake had to break it down for them.
That's true. And if you remember with Nineveh, this is why I think I heard one of those camps was trying to say all people could be saved because look at Nineveh. Jonah was sent to Nineveh, and it was heathens in Nineveh, when it was actually incorrect. There was Jakes living in Nineveh, and yet you see these people never went back into the history to understand the mystery, and it's by going back into the history you realize a lot of what is being taught. It is always running to conflict as you go into the scriptures pertaining to salvation when you start to single it down to who it's for, because in this verse they talk about of all the cattle thou hast made, thou hast provided the one sheep. Now, how mankind's understanding of the word cattle, they thinking fucking Salakia, they thinking cow. They thinking cow. But we know back then in Genesis when the scripture talk about cattle and beasts, beast was representation to men, and the cattle was all the animals basically who on the land we see here. So a sheep back then according to creation was classified as a cattle, and we saw the Lord making a reference every single time in scripture to Israel being that sheep, so much so that YAHAWAH'S said he was not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. How could you twist that? How could you misconstrue that? How could one
Money.
I mean, come on.
Simple money.
Money.
That is basically it, money. Because majority of the times when they hear these people want to bring inclusion into it, it's because they want money. More people brings more. More what? More money. You understand? If you're telling people that this is for a particular people, that means the other people wouldn't want to come. That means you're gonna be what? Losing out.
Yeah,
You understand?
and they're coming to the
Yeah.
Passover, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody come in, you know, bring other contribution.
Who do that? Who do that?
Sakari.
That's not Tazar, you know.
IUSPK,
ISPK.
Them is them do that?
Yeah,
I think HODC. I'm not say I want to be wrong, but the one that who used to call himself the Comforter and GOCC. I think GOCC that's bringing they bring heathens into the Passover.
And them was the ones in the video who are the Edomites staying with them for like 2 days.
GOCC, I
That
think
was
that's
them,
GOCC. Yeah. A long time I really
Like Tazariak. Oh,
No, GOCC is
that was Tazariak. That was Tazariak,
that is but GOCC is
White man was taking interview.
Yeah, the interview,
that was
yeah.
recently.
No, that when he went and he was training and thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
They
train
basically
and stuff,
sell out stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you something. When this is just we diverting a little bit, but when you watch an interview, these Edomites don't do the interview free now. They have to pay. You have to sign a contract, right? You have to pay. They don't because they cannot put you up to do a whole video unless you agree to it.
Yeah.
And Esau not going to go by a word of mouth, right? Them love to get things written in paper,
So you can
right?
use it against it, yeah.
So you wouldn't use it because you could go up, right? I'm not sure how you could do it, right? The fella from ISUPK, right? He could literally go up because he's a figure. Plenty people know who he is, right? This fella. How is his name? Tazaria, right? Tazaria, whatever his name is. And he's plenty people know who he is. He could go in that video and literally flag it, and whatever money the video make, he could get the money. He able to claim it now.
But he can take it to
Yeah.
court.
So that either might that do that. So that is what my brother say. The first thing they say is sell out, like sell out activity, because one time you're not supposed to be first and foremost you're supposed to be doing an interview like that, right? Secondly, you have either might infiltrating your stuff. One time you.
Yeah.
Thirdly, every time they come to do an interview with them, it's always guns. The training for war and all sort of stuff. Obviously, Esau got used against them, but this is what we will get from the Lord tell us about men like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because if you really check it, you're paying a bad name for
Yeah.
Israel.
Yeah.
You're making it look like all the Israelite camps is terrorists because how you make it look like men militant, you know.
Yeah,
Oh, they
like
come to
Black
this
Panther.
thing,
Like
forget
kinda
this
Black
thing,
Panther
that,
vibes.
yeah, like a
And-
Black Panther
and-
vibes.
And you see the thing about it is that knowing you're dealing with a serpent, right? Knowing what you saw over the years, you had to ask yourself, how could you do that? As a man, if you're calling yourself a man, how could you do that? Knowing you're going to use weight as you do
Yeah,
against
against
it.
it.
But again, I go back to what I say. When
Bad.
it comes to that bad,
Yeah,
it
because
doesn't matter.
every time you do an interview with anyone who asks you to do interview, you have to pay, they come with cash. They paying, yeah.
Like when it happened, right? And the elder show me it. And one of the elders show my way. I remember I want to do a research and just look up. I just look up the network now. They made $16 million, and for a short period of time, $16 million. Now, we have been saying for years, General Yohana has taken it back, right? $60 million for a short period of time. This is untaxable money, right? Because what I want to look up is just literally the 501c3, just to look up their network and so forth and so on. They made $16 million, right? And you remember these guys are doing, they actually going out. He's so calling them to do this, that. So they gain more. You understand?
And going back to the apostle Gaba was going on into putting into Revelation 3 and 9, talking about the patient with the suffering.
Yeah.
So going through the affliction, you never hear the prophets had it nice here. Man, it's carry about well the bishop. He says, you know, the deacons like he's saying, yeah, besides being on YouTube our life. So how you got our life when you're preaching against, and the Lord said, deny even your own self. But you have a life, you have a nice house, you have a nice, amazing car or something like that, big enough car to jump in. And this is the level of pride these men have.
And you know the thing about that? Even if you have these stuff, right? Because there are men that would have it. You all come into boast and thing, because they know that does attract people. You know, that does attract people to come. But nonetheless, I'm going to go back into this here. Verse 27, it says, and among all the multitudes of peoples thou hast gotten thee one people, and unto this people whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law that is approved of all, right? So go back into the Psalms here.
Psalms, you know what?
Yeah.
Psalms 147 verses 19, he showed his ways unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He had not dealt so with any nation.
He had not dealt so with any other nation.
Done.
So that when you say get a law, you see now tell it that he gave these people the law. Matter of fact, Israel are the servants of the Lord. They are the only people that have that. The rest don't.
Deuteronomy 4 goes with that.
I will get ice break.
We're just going to say I guess something.
Yeah, this is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5, because basically this is constitution. You understand? This is the way for us to live, because these other nations, if you watch them dating rat, cat, dog, get them a chance, they know they sleep with auntie, sleep with uncle, and brother, sleep with sister. They have no order. But the Lord give us order, so which is the law. So this is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. It says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgment, even as the Lord YAHAWAH'S commanded me that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of all nations, in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. You understand? So, like, they taking all the rank and eating. These are the nation, they don't care.
I say a wise and understanding people, right? This is show how perfect the Lord had us. That when we deal with a situation, we are dealing with it in the right way. Now when you watch Jake, with all the law, watch how they just deal with stuff.
The generate plan.
Yeah,
we say in the book ox know it is owner and as master script. You understand? But Israel don't even they don't consider, they don't care, but them calling upon Jah, they calling upon it's like the movie the cartoon in Netflix when Moses bongs some 6 years and instead of all rah, he 6 years. So that how Jake is right now. Like the biggest bug out on TikTok, the Rasta one. What are you calling them? Bobo. I just sound curses and I just like this. I see that and I just troll. You understand? There's nonsense. There's full of generate.
Look, this thing here too. That is the reason why every single heathen nation, when they watch Jake, it's like It's
Yeah,
like
precept.
there's just crucified Jake, like because of the way Jake act. You know, like we don't even want to be around these people. You understand? But this not like right. Yeah.
When you really
Because it come like a as I say the watch I mean hiss.
Yeah, the hiss,
They
yeah.
say, you know, hey, watch them, you understand?
it's the perfection of beauty.
Yeah, this is the precepts. This is the profession of beauty. You understand? Watch it, understand? Even when you watch a man, you watch his woman. And watch our woman today, I always say, oh, this our woman's our glory. Watch your woman today. As I see, even passing here, Shiva Chatans in here, whole here, Shiva Chatan down, pants short up, you see, in the bottom outside. This is the generation.
And they would you see, and that is, you know, like I come on we say that is a state they had to be in. You know why? That is a state they had to be in, because that what you see the things that they choose over the Lord is that is what will be used against them. You understand? All are gonna be brought up for them, you understand? But when it comes to these heathens, there's what just like dog. We the lowest at the lowest. If it have a food chain, right? And we just talking about the world here, right? If it have a food chain, we at the bottom. What this fella from what got our feet tell over, man? Before they kill him, he say all they're talking about everything. So he say, but what is the leader for the blacks? They can answer. See, all they have all this. Each one of all they have a man in power for all, right? The Chinese have a Chinese, this is that. But when it comes to the blacks, where is leader? Where is counterpart like him? You understand? No, but George Bush is Jake leader. You understand? You know? They put any dirt one time. You know, they put any dirt. Obviously, they don't want to do other stuff with it, but they pay many dirt.
If I could touch on, he was talking about using a reference according to Jeremiah. We talk about the Lord planted a noble vine. How is it turned him a degenerate plant and a strange vine on them? And the brother Kazak that test we did a live a few days ago dealing with the usage of the word stranger in the Bible. You know, and he made various definitions as a result of the word stranger and how you rightly apply it in the scriptures. And the strange in this verse in Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 21, let me just read it quickly. Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? That definition for the word strange is the word Nakaria. Nakaria is someone who is not of the bloodline of Israel. Now, why would the Heavenly Father use this as a reference to Israel? Because the use of the word stranger, and especially the use of the word Nakaria, Israel, because of disobedience, was as though they were heathen before the Most High.
Yeah, you know,
Disobedience caused the whole nation of Israel to be Nakaria before the Heavenly Father.
When Ezra went to them too, Ezra called them, and Ezra called them heathen.
that was
Yes, Nakaria. We call them Nakaria.
The Lord called them heathen in the scripture.
So even Matthew said that. Even in the book of Matthew, in the book of Matthew say, you know, if they ain't thinking, they become like until like a heathen. You know?
So if I touch one more thing, with the definition of the word Nakaria, we have it for a person who is not of the bloodline of Israel, and also for a situation. The use of the word Nakaria could be situational, like something unfamiliar or strange. When you look at Israel, the state that we in, this is not where we were supposed to be, because you see how.
So even to add to what you're saying, you don't understand that even strangers was written even in the book of law. In the law. So strangers, when you look at the strangers there, it wasn't talking about the heathen. It was basically talking about Israelites that become strangers to the usual customs. Right? When you look at the word strangers, you go back to like the word alien. The word alien just means a stranger. Right? It just literally so it's the context of it and of it, right? Because strangers could also mean Israelites, but they are strangers to the land itself or the customs that they are accustomed to.
Like I know we don't say this Isaiah 14 and 1. It's sojourner. If sojourner, a foreigner in Israel, I even talk about lacking your inheritance right.
Yeah, so you see,
so you understand, you know, the
I think it's
strangers.
in Exodus 12.
yeah.
We talk about, you know, for the stranger,
For the stranger that
one
come,
that
yeah,
is born.
And many people
Yeah,
use
One
can't.
Lord shall be tamed that is homeborn, and
Homeborn,
the stranger.
stranger that's the thing. Yeah. So they're basically a stranger to that now.
And you know what's the funny thing about that? Like you tell certain persons who try to use that very scripture you quote to speak about heathens, because it says a mixed multitude left Egypt. which is true, it was a mixed multitude. But the stranger, when you look in certain paragraphs after that, it was speaking about Israelites, because all Israelites were not in the captivity in Egypt. Proof of that, when Moses fled Egypt, he had children, 2 sons with the daughter of Jethro, Zipporah. And Moses spent 40 years in the tent of Jethro. So these young men obviously were you know,
Spread, they will breed, you know.
they will breed. We have records of Judah. When Judah traveled, Judah used to go into other women. So it had Israelites who was not in the captivity. So when persons say that, then I had to say then only had to reject Moses. Because Moses' wife and them wasn't Israelites. And when you look at the children were born to women who were not of Israel. So are you saying Moses is a mamzer?
Actually, and to add to that, even Jacob, 2 of Jacob's wife was what? That's what?
Carl. So you see that you said that surface understanding that the word stranger can apply. Rightly divided, as we touched on the lesson when we was dealing with that word, it was speaking about Israelites, clear and simple. Because if it was speaking about heathen, then it wouldn't be no history for heathen rule over Israel.
Because that like the last banging up in Monday banging. Once you see they believe in the virgin birth, all these things could get sewn up with.
Yeah, no, it's true.
That is it. Once you believe in the virgin birth, that is the day.
I feel with the virgin birth act, you know what I put on there? I'll put the giants and thing with that.
Yeah,
you see if they can believe in,
man.
and now they believe in something called Metrotron and things. See, you can believe in them stuff, right? You can believe in anything.
Anything.
You understand? You see, but this is, let me show you something to her. This is like, way back to like with the apostle time was saying, not saying, but I just said, good way back to, you ain't the truth to make it simpler for somebody to understand. You go no deep, right? But your purpose is to make sure you get this word out. So sometimes we wouldn't go deep. We go deep amongst ourselves. But basically, it's the basics. You try to make it as easy to somebody can understand. Even Apostle Gabbar did a video on that. We're talking about that simple. See when people go deep, too deep, they get lost. Because especially with Jake being as foolish as they can be, certain things that when they hear it and they try to repeat it, it's a song so stupid, right? It's a song so stupid, it's unbelievable. So stuff like the Immaculate Conception, stuff like the Giant, stuff like was another one that there's be real of like extraordinary Enoch was the next one as well too, the book of Enoch with the mermaids, and they have a next one that taught that being what is a beast with 3,000 eyes and all kind of thing running through the earth and all kinds of stuff. Like these things, like when they believe in these things, obviously they try to go too deep and they get lost in the source. You know? So like some of the people who believe in the Immaculate Conception and giants, right? They doesn't even understand the simple basic, the milker. They just want to jump to the meat, to the depths one time. You understand? Alright, so if you go and swim, when you know learn to swim, you gotta jump in the shallow first.
Exactly.
You gotta learn to paddle and learn to
Take foot, you know.
then you show out. But them want to make a big jump and go straight into the deep. Obviously, what's gonna happen to it? They're gonna drown.
And the drawing is the broad way. They get caught up with all the lies. We have a small account. I think guys go on points in Jeremiah 7. And one it said the word of the Lord came, the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, stand in the gate of the Lord's house and proclaim there this word, and say, hear the word of the Lord, all ye of Judah that enter into the gates to worship the Lord. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the Lord of Israel, amen your ways and your doing, and I will cause you to dwell in this place. It said, trust ye not in lying words, saying, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord are those, these. And when they jumping down, right. So I'm going to go to the point now. In verse 8 it says, behold, ye trust in lying words that cannot profit. So you understand, this is nothing new under the sun.
And
so,
we just talking to Jake.
Yeah, Jake.
Talking to Israel.
Anyway if I take you from here, I bring in here, I bring in a holy place, alright, them amongst the heathens. Don't follow their way, be not their priests, choose none of their ways. And you know, say basically don't trust into their philosophies and their line words. But you know what to do, they pop that pill.
If I could add, based on what you're saying there, with the line words, these things were recorded. Now, if a popular thing among those who believe in all what you just discussed, they say you can't read the only Bible as the source of information.
Yeah,
How the
they
books
say
you
that,
have to
yeah.
read.
Yeah,
You can't
books.
just go with the
they say
Bible
that.
alone. And two
They love-
precepts here.
They love that.
Ecclesiastes 12:12, and further, by these my son be admonished of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh.
Be real. So we're gonna go on with you now. For you to study, you have about 105 books.
That's what they're
If you
trying
go
to tell
and, if you
you.
go and preach, how many books you have to go out with? So you have a library out in the house. And you pull out the book of you know, or you pull out the book of Bhagwan Gita, bring out the one in Ishmael book, and then bring out the precept in the Bible. So that confusion.
I'm an next precept.
And
Go
let's
ahead.
add to that. And you see, there's the thing when you talk about. Alright, so let me show this, right? The words of the Lord was written unto Israel, right? Esau, so like even to this day, Esau don't use the book, the Bible. You know what is used? The Talmud. Talmud is a whole different book. So people believe that the Jews on the land across there, right? The Jewish people across there, essentially the Jews, but the small arts across there, they're using this. They are not. They are not using this. Matter of fact, they denounce this.
Yeah.
They go against this. They don't believe in the Messiah. Then some of the laws they say it don't make sense or they cut it off or whatever it is. What they have is the book, the Talmud, right? But Jake, the true Israelites, their whole spirit comes straight back to this. That's why you see Jake, even though whatever it is he going through, who it is he will call?
Oh Lord. Oh God,
Who
Lord.
it is he calling to? He might never believe in it, he might believe something, but who you going to turn to? You turn to this. And when you're going through pain, what do they say? I have to go in my Bible way. They don't say nothing else. I have to go into my Bible.
Yeah, but
you know?
when you get locked up, you know, get locked up before and in jail, and when you check every cell of a Bible, or if not a Bible, who is Muslim, whatever it is, but most of the jigs them have the Bible. And that's the only time they read the Bible. You understand? When they're in jail, they're just reading Psalms. Psalms going to deliver you. And that's the thing about
Until they cut it off. They
When
cut
it-
off
yeah.
the book of Psalms, they read small, that little small book for it now.
Yeah.
But I just want to show you. So,
But,
let me
Yeah, wrap up.
let me go into some of the other thing. Yeah.
right? So with that, we pray this lesson was edifying. We're going to end the lesson here to do another part for the sake of time, because you know how Jakes have a very short attention span, and for the sake of persons getting this truth, we try to be time sensitive. So we close off by giving all honor, all glory, all praises to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. Double honors to the prophets and teachers of Great Millstone, our spiritual fathers who rule well. Peace and salutations to the saints Yakim and Akwat, who follow this truth in all diligence and all sincerity. We say shalom till the next part 2. Shalom.